Yeah, Ben's got to get off and go to bed at like 8:30. Meanwhile, I'm getting ready to drink an espresso because I have work to be done when I get done, and I'm like so far behind. So check it
8:30. Boy, you're a real late nighter. I'm usually cashed in by then.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kahuna Strength Podcast, where we help men and women build real sustainable strength for their real life. No trends, no shortcuts, just what actually works and works for us and hopefully works for you too. We're busy adults, parents, professionals, college kids, and we're all just trying to stay strong and healthy and consistent. If you want strength you can live with, you're in the right place.
Yeah, man. Those mornings come early.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. So welcome to the Kahuna Strength Podcast. So we're joined today by my neighbor and friend Ciprian Garcia. So
Howdy, y'all.
yeah. Wait, Ben, you've met Ben, right?
We have met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought he was in London because isn't that Big Ben?
Yeah. That's right. So for those who are going to watch this, I met Sip. Of course, that's my neighbor, and then he's helped me out at the surf shop and doing it. So when I started working out and get back into shape, Sip has been an avid walker. You and Deb started that. We'll get into that too, and then you started working out. I guess you start working like strength training, doing some dumbbell stuff. What, like in the summertime or before then?
Well, let me see. I've been out for 3 weeks because
Yeah, being sick. Yeah, holiday stuff.
it's
Yeah.
probably been about 3 months. 3 months.
Well, yeah, okay,
3
there
months.
we go. He and his wife Deb live in our neighborhood, and we were like, we're like, I don't know that they're ever in their house. I think they just walk all the time.
No, I can assure you, we're in our house.
Yeah, but like I know Deb has lost some weight, and I know y'all are trying to stay healthy and stuff. So, and I know walking is really good. My in-laws do it, but y'all walk like, I mean, how many miles a day do you
We
walk?
can walk anywhere between 5 and 7 miles a day. And then what we're trying to do now is we're trying to take advantage of a lot of the programs that Brunswick County has to offer for senior citizens because there's a lot of good programs out there. And can I relate?
Yeah.
Funny story. So when I started joining these programs, I went to a 20-20-20 program for 60 and over.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the only guys there, and I'm going to ace this thing, And they said, walk over. We're going to do cardio for 20, 20, and 20. Three different sections of things. And they said, grab up to 2 pound weight. Well, I got to be Joe Dude, and I'm going to grab about an 8, 10 pound weight. I'm telling you, these girls were killing it. Man.
Yeah. So wait, what's the 2020?
Well, so 20-20-20 is a cardio. It's an hour of cardio. You got 20 minutes of a good, really good warm up. 20 minutes of a good hard cardio, and then it's supposed to be 20 minutes of like chair cool down, but the whole thing is just nonstop, and wasn't any cool down. And I'll tell you, some of these women are just hitting it and getting it. And the lady that runs it is in her 70s, and she never stopped and went on to another class. And I'll tell you, they were killing me. They were killing me, and I went and gotten like between an 8 and 10 pound weight, and and we're doing the cardio and everything, and it's nonstop. And I wasn't going to quit. And my wife leaned over. She kind of danced over to me and said, you can go over and switch to a 2 pound weight. And I said, no. I said, I am not doing the walk of shame across this class when these ladies are killing it. So we're taking advantage of that. And they've got other courses. Some of them are relatively easy, but, there's a lot of good stuff here too, besides, everything. So we're trying to take advantage of that too. And like I said, the biggest thing for me is I want to keep doing the things I'm doing today. The Illinois, Wisconsin line, there's no way I can do this year round there. So, that's the great thing about being here. Even if it gets cold, it doesn't get that bad.
Yeah. Up here, I'm always like, man, if I could just get, a few extra, steps in, another couple thousand steps in a day, I would consider it a win. But I get home and I'm like, I'm not walking around. There's snow and ice and rain.
Yeah. Well, then, like, he can't use a treadmill. Like, we can use a normal treadmill. He can't because he's broke treadmills. So, yeah.
But it's not the same either. There's something about being outside. There's something about walking. I mean, I do the treadmill down there and at the center. It's just, quite frankly, it just kind of sucks.
Well, so like in our garage, we got one of those I think it was meant to be like a desk treadmill or something. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely it's not safe. There's no handrails or anything on it at
It's
all.
not an elliptical or anything.
Oh no,
anything.
it's just it's like it's
a
shorter
walking
than
pad,
this
right?
table, huh?
It's like a walking pad. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, basically, yeah. You would definitely break it. Like
Yeah.
because I definitely am not going to run on it because I would break it. But yeah, then it's short, and so like I'll get it out and it's light, so I'll set it down on the floor, and then literally Sarah came out one time because I was like, man, I need to get some walking in. It was I think the weather was just shitty here or something, and so what I did is I would open up the garage door, and so then I could at least see outside. And then I laid the walking pad down, but then in my garage I like set up one of the I think it was one of those step up boxes. I put a cooler out, a step up box on top. I had and we had like Destiny's old flat screen TV or something. So I put that on top of it, and I still had a Roku device. So I'm out there. She comes outside. She's like, "Oh, you're cheating." And I'm like watching F1 the movie with like my headphones in while I'm walking. I'm like, this is like if I just stand here or even just listen to like 20 minutes of like something, I will probably walk. I'll probably walk at least 10 minutes, but then I'll be like wanting to do something. But this way, I literally started watching the movie. Next thing you know, I've walked over 30 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, I'm cool. That's good. All right, good deal." And I didn't fall off it, except like when I first got on it, I was like super happy, like that, like a crazy person, like almost stepped off the thing. So, but
Well, I want to hear the story. How do you break treadmill?
yeah, Ben.
It sounds like there's more than one in this story.
Yeah, I've broken 2. I use way too much. We don't. Amy uses them. It's part of her everyday workout. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that too. I'll add a half hour of walking in, maybe some jogging.
And to be clear, you met his wife, Amy, or no?
I do not know if I've met.
She's like Sarah's height.
I don't.
So when he says I use the treadmill that my wife used, Amy's half his height. Like
Amy's 5'1", and I weigh more than double what Amy weighs.
Yeah.
And so like
So do you run on it?
No.
I think he just
No.
he just walks.
No, just walking on it. Just walking on these treadmills. In the first 2 lasted for a little bit, but then they stopped. And so Amy ordered a new one. She's like, "Oh yeah, this one will hold up to 300 pounds or 350 pounds." So she's like, "Don't do," because I used to do farmers carries on them. I would hold kettlebells and stuff. Right? Yeah. Well, it's
He wasn't walking on normally. He was like, "Let me carry weight while I do this."
It's almost like you're trying to do quality control for these things.
Yeah. Maybe they'll hire me.
I think I'm serious.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But so we got this new one, and I got on it and started to walk and made it 2 minutes, and it started to slow down.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys have had this, but the band will kind of stop and
it'll stop. Yeah.
Yeah, it started doing that, and then it started making a smell. So after 3 minutes of being on this thing, I got off, and I didn't say anything to Amy. I just I was like,
you broke it.
I'll walk outside, or I'll find another way to do cardio. She came downstairs the next day, and she's like, I turned on the treadmill, and it smelled kind of funny.
And you were like, really? What?
Yeah, I'm not using it anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
One day I'll buy a big one.
Next up, Ben's in quality control for NordicTrack.
Yeah.
Seriously? Yeah. I mean,
now what was the other? So you talked about the 2020 cardio program. Was there another thing you tried?
All I do, I go down there and I use the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's raining and we can't walk, I'll go down there.
Where's this at?
It's the senior center in Calabash.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually got a really nice weight room in it. And then they've got they got some of the dance classes, and they've got some yoga and some Pilates. Some of the weight training is really lightweight, but the cardio is I think it's good at any age. I mean, I thought I was reasonably fit for my age.
Yeah, you are.
And I'll tell you what, these women, a couple of them were rock stars, so, but I mean, it's on top of the walking, we try to do that. I try to run and I love running. I just can't do it. It bothers my back too much. I tried doing the stairs, like you go to do bleachers.
Oh, yeah.
But that is really hard on your back. I don't know if I told Andrew the story, my P90X story.
No.
I did it when I was 52, my wife and myself, and I'll tell you something, man. At 52 years old, I was in the best shape of my life. And but now I don't know that I could go back. And I think you're probably a good testament to this, Ben. I think when you get in shape and you get to a certain point, to me, being in shape is like when you have a job and you have a lot of vacation time or you have a lot of money. You always want a little bit more, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So when I was doing the P90X, I could never do a pull-up. Well, I got it to almost 10. And I was just pushing it and pushing it. I said, I want a little bit more. And I felt the shoulder pop.
Oh.
And it's just one of those things where you just push it, want a little bit more instead of, adhering to the program and the diet. So, but I mean, they're great. They're great program. I think I'd love to get you guys' take on those.
Yeah, I've known too many people who have done that program, and every time they tell me the story, they've injured themselves. It's like
you really got to follow it, and like you said today, listen to your body.
A buddy of mine, Robert, who I'd known, he's never going to listen to this either, but he, by the way, he's a super awesome guy. Easily one of my favorite fraternity brothers. But when we connected years ago, and I was working out. We connected over FaceTime stuff, or I think back then it was not Zoom, but like what was that other one?
There's Asylum. There's Insanity.
No, it was something. God, I can't remember. Skype. That's what it was. Yeah. That was Skype. Yeah, but he was telling me, he's like, I can't work out right now. He's having to do more bodyweight stuff. He's like, he did something. He injured his back pretty bad. I was like, oh man, what? He's like, and I didn't know what the program was at the time. He's like, I was doing this thing called P90X, and I was like, oh, that is, but okay, cool. I was like, well, yeah, definitely be careful. Blah. He's like, you hurt your back. I was like, nah, I've worked at furniture companies. I just looked at some stuff with my buddy Ron the other day. First of all, side note, he was like, come help me move a mattress. I was like, cool. I show up. It's one of those Posturepedic mattresses, like got fucking machines and stuff in it. And I was like, dude, this is a 300-pound mattress. And he's like, oh, we got to move the sofa and love seat. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I walk inside. I'm like, seriously? They're like massive reclining sofas and stuff. I'm like, okay, I still got to work out today. This is great. But I told Robert back then, I was like, injured my back really like that or anything. And so then he told me about what the program was. And I was like, that sounds crazy. Definitely don't do that. And then I think it was years later, I talked to someone else, and the same thing. They had done, it was P90X. And they just, I think it's one of those where it sounds great, but it's like a program that's made for people who are probably already very well conditioned.
I think
you know what I mean.
It's almost like you got to get in shape to get in shape.
Yeah, like Sarah had done it before, like have these days, and I told her when we had started dating, I was like, you might as well throw those in the garbage, just because I was like, that program sounds great, and I get the passion behind, like, you want to do this, lose weight. It's like, but I think it's one of those programs that sets people up for failure, where it's like having a crash diet. Like, that's not sustainable.
Amy used to do it all the time. When we lived on the island, she did P90X. And on top of that, like, she was walking a 5K every day because Jackson wasn't walking yet. So she just pushed him down the boardwalk and stuff. She did P90X. She did the Asylum. She did Insanity. And then did you see when they would combine them?
Oh my goodness. I've heard about this.
Dude, Amy was doing all these in a house where it was in the Caribbean. We didn't like, you had air conditioning, but it was, a unit per room. So she was working out in basically a sauna.
Right. Yeah.
Then, but she did all of this. I tried to do a few of them, and I just couldn't keep up. And at the time, I probably weighed 50 pounds less, and I just couldn't keep up and do it. But when we moved back, when we lived in Chicago, I did the Body Beast program that they've got. Have you ever heard of them? that was more of like a strength training, muscle building specific, and I had pretty incredible results. I enjoyed the Body Beast. I could keep up with that. I could do that. It was that high intensity that P90X had that I couldn't keep up with it, and I was used to having long breaks, and
Yeah.
it wasn't my style of lifting. But Amy had great results from it and loved it.
Yeah.
But she's really good following the
Yeah.
Exactly.
and the instructions, and every time she did it, she's like, okay, I know I can increase in this. I'm going to stay the same in this, and like she stuck with it. She didn't,
Yeah.
get ahead of herself. But
Yes.
those were good. And Shalene, remember, there was so Tony Horton did P90X. Another one of the programs for Beachbody was one Shalene Extreme or something.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that, but
It was good. Amy, like, I think that at one point Amy did everything aside from their not what is it? Not Muay Thai. Their
Oh, you're talking about where he did like the one guy who did like the kickboxing type of looking stuff or whatever?
no, I think she did that one, but there was one where it was just mostly movement based.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, type up.
Yeah.
No, she didn't do that one. But yeah, there's a movement based one that she, it wasn't what she was looking for, so she didn't do that one. But I think she's done all of them, and if you sticking with their instructions and following along.
And she was one too, though. Like she's, as far as I've ever known you guys, she's always been fit.
But yeah.
She's always been fit. But I've known people like when Sarah, I think when we started dating, she was playing tennis and and she did some workouts and she ran. And she's in great shape then. But even then, like I think she injured herself quad or back doing like the P90X something. It was just too intense. It's like for people who are like, wait, where I'm in shape and I'm conditioned and I want to stay in really good shape and then they can run the program for a shorter period of time. And they're smart about like Amy's and you too. Like you are smart about like, hey, I know I can do this. I can't do that. I can stick with this type of stuff. Whereas like some of us average individuals who are like, we'll do it anyway.
well, the funny thing about those two is like Will, Will.
Hmm?
Yeah, his wife.
Yeah.
She's done them all.
Yeah.
And I know you said you've tried the Asylum and the Insanity.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, the fact that your wife can just even get through the warm-ups on those warm-ups are insane.
Yeah.
I tried to do that next, and I told Debbie, I said, I can't even hardly get to the warm-ups. But what I would do, like when I was here and we started talking about the workouts, what I would do is I would just use because at my age now, I would just do the warm-ups for P90X, and I would do some of the exercises. Then he came up with the program for me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
AI that I do now, but
yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying it, but I think I would really be pushing it at my age. I mean, I don't know. You guys know better than I do. I'm 69.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. You don't look 69.
No,
I appreciate that, but I would be curious. What
I mean, I wouldn't like. I know.
What's the deal for somebody like my age, and how far are you going out? Is it really about how much you can do, or you think you can do? Or
I think a lot of it's knowing your limits, and staying within those, not pushing it. Like one of the workout programs they had done, was like people around our age type of stuff. As like the Kahuna reset, like a beginning thing, and it says in there to leave like 1 or 2 reps kind of thing. But I think you could fall into a couple categories, and Ben will know more about this than I will. He's done personal training and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I just know living around people who are much older than me. And like with my dad being Superman, like insane. There's an old YouTube video of me and OIB Kuhn, and I like make the joke in there. I'm like, yeah, my dad got his heart rate up to something crazy, astronomical number today, and he does like so often.
A mover and a shaker, man.
Yeah, he also subscribes to that, like what we talked about earlier today, like body in motion stays in motion. He's like, hey, I don't want to die yet. I want to be around and play with the grandkids and do stuff, and not just be around. He doesn't want to be a grandfather who just sits there and sees the kids. He
It
wants
really
to do
exists.
things with the kids. Still, I mean, he's 75. He's gonna be 76 this year, which blows my mind. Mainly because it means I'm old. Um, but like he'll go out and we still play tennis together, and he's still trying to play tennis this week. Even though he's got an appointment, the doctor's like, you can't play. He's probably gonna try and play, but like he'll go out and play soccer with the kids and tennis with the
Some
kids.
the other day.
Yeah. So like with him though, he knows his limits and he pushes himself. Like he'll tell me like, I got on the bike today. His trainer, which is a bike, he just has a bike. He's had one ever since I've been a kid. You know, the ones that you go on the wheels, you can just ride a stationary bike. But he'll set the gears high and go nuts. He's very good at jacking his heart rate up, cooling off, jacking his heart rate up again. He's got the heart of a fucking horse, man. Like but he knows his limits. And that's one thing I joke about my father being like, this guy's just going to end up chasing down a tennis ball one day and that's going to be it. Or running. And it's not. He really does know his limits. Like he's really smart about it. And like we might think, man, you're pushing yourself too hard, but he knows his body and he acts with it and he knows when to take a break. Like he's been a lifelong runner, lifelong. And then he finally had stopped a while back. I think it was maybe a couple years ago. And the reason being is he was like, he could feel it on his knees and he's like, I can walk and still do some workouts at home and still ride my bike. So he's replaced running with a safer activity on his joints, which is the bike. So he still gets his heart rate up and stuff. So I think a lot of it's working within your limits. So like you know your body better than we do. Like I probably would be like, hey man, you said you don't need to walk 5 miles a day. But you're like, yeah, dude, I know my body and it works for you and it's healthy. It keeps you going. So but Ben, let Ben talk because Ben will know more about
Well, just
what
let
you
me
could
ask you
do.
this real quick, Ben, before you go into that. Would you say that if I feel like the workout's getting a little bit easy, add reps to it or change it or
Yeah.
increase the weights? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. If you've been training, if you've got your diet dialed in, if you're sleeping, if you're drinking enough water, and you stretch. I think especially as you get older, I found myself really focusing on stretching before I start any weight training. If your workout has become, kind of easy, or you're not feeling
Stagnating or whatever.
yeah, then I don't add, crazy amounts of weight, but add something to make it challenging. Because if it's not challenging, and as long as you're still able to do it without injuring yourself, if it's not challenging, it's not going to be, fun anymore. Part of the reason we do this is, to see the results, to feel better and feel like you're doing something. You get that mental thing where, I work out first thing in the morning and I'm like, I've done this, I really pushed myself a little bit today, or I did more than, you know, I did last week or whatever. I I think that as long as you're pushing yourself safely,
Okay.
and you've got everything else dialed in, I'd encourage it. And like if your program is stagnating, I switch my workout every 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes I start getting bored around week 3 and I'm like, oh, I better come up with something new. And, I'll take a week and try and figure out where I am and what I want, uh, kind of a new 6 week goal or 4 week goal. And I'll use that to base my new program on. And, I may enjoy that program. I may be in week 6 and be like, I'm still liking this. I'm still seeing results. I still feel good, so I'll come up with another program and kind of just force myself into switching after week 7. But yeah, and I I don't I haven't really been my current program. I've not been increasing weights or anything like that. It's just different moves and things that were different, just slightly different from my last workout, so that I could still work out with dumbbells. I'm doing dumbbell primarily now just because I found myself with my barbells pushing it to a point where I really should have someone down here spotting me. And, what for,
You want me to come up there and spot you?
yes.
And-
Yeah. Drive on up, every morning.
Come up. I'll spot you. I won't even. Yeah. He
You find
likes me to spot him so I can touch the bar. So
You find yourself going back or just mixing up mixing meshing workouts?
Yeah. A lot of times I'll, and Aaron, sorry, that went over my head. Yes. I don't need you to spot me. You're a little eager on the spotting.
400 straight garage.
I didn't lose it.
Let's get that straight.
Sorry, he didn't lose. It
was
slightly upset.
yeah,
because I didn't ask for a spot.
he did ask for a spot. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I think you did ask for a spot. I think he didn't
I stand back there.
Yeah, he said
in
stand
case I
back.
needed it. Yeah.
He's about to hit the J hook, and I was like, man, you hit that J hook, you're gonna get stuck underneath it. So all I did was like move the bar slightly forward. I mean, that's it. He was
And
like,
he was bench pressing
Oh. He was like, I didn't get it. I was like, well, then we made him do it again, and we didn't record it.
Yeah.
That was probably. How sore were you the next day, by the way?
I was doing that. That was. I wouldn't have done that weight if I didn't know I could get it. So I was okay. I mean, that was my typical workout.
Damn.
But you can't it's just if I get up at like 4:30 in the morning to work out, and I can't have that amount of weight on there at 4:30 and
No.
in the morning, and you have a catastrophic event. So I'll use primarily dumbbells, and I will if I really like a move from my last program, I'll incorporate that in the new program, but then I'll add instead of doing just single sets, I'll superset or giant set things. So I'll do like a dumbbell press and then go straight into dumbbell flies to kind of get extra work in, and where I don't have to throw on a bunch more weight or drop a bunch of weight. I can use the same weight dumbbells for bench press and for flies, and you just get more work. And then usually every third program I do, I'll make it back to the barbells just to make sure, I guess for my ego, that I can still get the weights that I want.
So there still is a bit of a mashup, right?
Yeah.
With old workouts and new workouts. And
yeah. And then on Sundays, my friends and I work out. We have a big group workout where it's mostly HIIT, high intensity interval stuff, where we hit our entire body, and then we'll have a big finisher where we're do some cardio that it's always my least favorite part. But my doctors, they're always like, yeah, what you're doing is good, make sure you get the cardio. And then so I've told them about the cardio, and they're like, yeah, that's perfect. Even if you do that once a week, that's good. We'd love to see you get some more steps in during the week. But yeah, Sunday is usually a huge mix up for me. But then the rest of my workouts are weight based, but I'll switch them up like I said.
that's interesting that you said that about cardio, because I mean, that's what I've always heard. Cardio is bad for you, said no one ever.
Yeah.
They said, hey, whatever you do, get some cardio in there. And that's one of the reasons I started doing that down there.
Yeah, it's so important for your heart. You keep your heart healthy. I mean, the rest of your body can stay healthy as well. If your cardiovascular system's, not in tune, it's gonna be difficult to do other stuff.
You're 7 days?
Do I work out 7 days a week?
Yeah.
I usually.
And I'm going somewhere with this. That's why I'm asking.
So I've got 3 days of workouts that I have to hit.
Okay.
And then I've got 3 days. Well, yeah, 3 days that I like to hit. So I'll get 3, chest days, 3 leg days, 3 back and core days, or one day a week is chest, core, back, all that, and then I'll throw in 3 days that are accessory work that I want to do, and then Sunday is one that I kind of so I have to do Sundays too. I mean, so 4 days definite a week that I hit. And if I don't feel like on Monday and Tuesday, if I'm sore from Sunday, then I still come down and I do my whole stretching routine, and I'll do 15 minutes of my sauna, and then I'm off. But yeah, my rest days are kind of stretching and sauna.
Well, that's you already hit on where I was going with that. I was going to ask you on your off days, which
Yeah.
are like off days, and your body's really feeling it, and you're feeling the intensity and the soreness. You just do something in lieu of that, and I think you pretty much answered when you talked about stretching, and how important it is.
Yeah, stretching is crazy important. Since I've had several injuries, but every time I have them, they're like, here's your PT. Make sure you do these, stretches, these exercises for physical therapy. So I've kind of held on to those, and I'll use those as my stretching days and as my like pre-workout stretch. So even on the days that I do work out, I still do that stretching. I just have to get up a little bit earlier to get
Gotcha.
that. And then I've been using my steam sauna every day too, which I think helps. I like it a lot.
Well, for you two guys, what is the dark side for common person? What's the dark side of not stretching?
Injury, man.
Injury?
Injury. Definitely. And I didn't really start stretching until like basically when it came down to work out. He's like, yeah, I do these little simple stretches, and they're not long. My brother's been doing it. He's 10 years younger than me. Like when I remember when me and him used to work out, he'd be like taking little dumbbells and doing this, and then he'd be like little bands, and I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, just go over here, pick up the weight, and move it. And he was like, dude. And I've like been super lucky that I haven't injured myself. So like I don't know how. I've been very lucky. There's wood somewhere
So
not
you're
on
not
it.
going to have on your head.
Yeah. So I've been lucky with that. But then now, of course, I'm like, okay, I need to start stretching. So I've been doing stretches before workouts because I am like, well, I don't, and I will say this, like I haven't injured myself in the sense of like something major, but I've injured myself just by not warming up. Like, God, sorry about that. When one day I was in my garage gym, and what was it? Oh, that's like I wasn't properly prepared. Like I went to do a dumbbell row, and and just so I am very aware now that when I do a movement, like one of the big compound movements, to make sure that I tighten my core before I do it. It's like as if it's so weird because if I was going to move furniture or help somebody, I would be aware of this and make sure, oh, I'm getting ready, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to lift this thing. That's the one time I haven't where I went to go do a dumbbell row, and I like reached down, and I was doing chest and back, and I was going to do a superset. And so I had done my warm up, I guess would be for me was like light dumbbells, like either push ups and then light dumbbell press. And then I went and grabbed like 45s, and I did dumbbell press with 45s, and then sat them down. And then like someone was like, "Oh, I'm going to do dumbbell rows as the superset," because I was thinking barbells. I'll just do dumbbell rows, and reach down, and I sat them down beside each other, and they're drastically different in size. And I grabbed a 75-pound dumbbell and didn't probably obviously think about it, and not to mention I just grabbed it and like went to yank it up, like because I thought it was a 45-pound, and went, "Oh," and I was like, and then of course my brain, I'm like, screw it, I'll just do it anyway. And like did this, and then I think it was second or third rep, and again I was not prepared with my core or my back, didn't have everything locked in, and it seized up. I like dropped the dumbbell down and literally went like down on my knees, like fetal position, was like, I think for real finally like hurt my back, like, and I was like I couldn't like, I was like, oh, I've done something here. And I lay there for a few minutes. I was like, I don't know that it's, if I lean forward, it hurts. And I think I messaged my doctor that day and told her about it. She says, yeah, it sounds like you strained your muscle through here, whatever the hell it was called. But basically heat and ice. And and that's where I was like, well, one dumb move. I wasn't able to work out for at least a week. She told me that I'd work out for 2 weeks, but man. So my wife was like, "That's you." She's like, "You're smarter than." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but am I?" And I started feeling better. Obviously, by the end of the week, I was like, "Oh, I think I'm good to go." And so then I went out and I warmed up. I went out and was like, just did like normal like stretches and stuff, like some little back extensions, like with no weight, like before I did anything. So yeah, but Ben can tell you like the dark side. You've had shoulder injuries. I know you tore your bicep.
Yeah. I mean, it was my shoulder injury is just kind of an ongoing thing. I sleep on my left shoulder. When I was younger, I didn't prepare. I never stretched. No warm ups. I would do any exercise. I was going heavy. So like even like lateral raises, front raises. Throw the weight on there. I'm gonna. I wanted to do it. So I wasn't warming up any of my smaller muscles, everything. So I mean, it's just kind of an ongoing issue. When I tore my bicep, that was more of uh I didn't prepare.
Grip thing too. Then you grab like
Yeah. That
the
was
axle bar. Is that what you were grabbing too?
Yeah. I had my buddy from high school was putting on a fundraiser, and he's like, "Hey man, I know you work out. You want to come down to this fundraiser?" And because I don't really go home much. And he's like, if I, you still have friends down here. Why don't you come down, see your buddies, and we'll get some more people here at the thing. I just, I need more competitors. I want more people to show up. More donations. So it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. And I had just done a competition. These aren't serious competitions, first of all. These are my, Wes had a gym, and he's like, hey, we're doing a deadlift competition. Look, come on, we got to do it. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And so my experience leading up to the fundraiser was, Olympic bars, trap bar deadlift, things like that, which is fine. When I showed up to the fundraiser, they're like, "Oh, this is a strongman competition." I was all right. I mean, we're still deadlifting, right? He's like, "Yeah, we'll deadlift."
The video you have. I'll more show you the video.
Oh
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
great, yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah, and thankfully, my buddy Warren was down there, and his family, and he was videoing the entire thing. So that's the only reason we've got the video of it. But I didn't know that in strongman you don't use an Olympic bar. You use an axle bar, which is bigger diameter. I also didn't know that you're supposed to use like a overhand grip, and they have special straps for this. Whereas, with the Olympic bar, I always did, opposite hand grip. So,
my dad just asked me about that on deadlifts. He's like, "Is that how you do it?" I was like, I've never been able to do that. I've always only ever done overhand. I don't
yeah,
know why. When I try to do it this way, it's like my body doesn't know what the hell it's doing. My brother can. He pulls great weight like that, but I can't. Yeah.
yeah. And I just learned to do it that way a long time ago. And I was like, oh, I just do it this way. So whenever I did that, in the strongman thing, I got my first 2 weights. You do 3 weights, and I got the first one, I got the second one using my normal grip. But when I did the third one, which was a weight, I think it was a weight that I had done before. Amy said it may have been a little heavier, but when I got it up above my knee, I heard a tear like Velcro. It was, and I knew immediately what happened. I didn't feel it, which was strange, but I heard it, and I kind of locked out and dropped it, and they just held my arm, and I was like, "Oh no, this is not good."
That was the bicep tear.
Yeah, yeah.
That just doesn't even sound good.
Hold on. I gotta see if I can find that video real quick. I
That
know-
looked- yeah, it was
Hey,
like,
so
but the worst part about it, Sip, was at the time, I think Henley, our youngest, was 4. So when I came off from the lift, holding my arm, he came running up and like, "Oh, daddy, pick me up. Like, oh, dude.
Yeah, here I got it pulled up. Let me show it to him real quick. This is when we went up for his I'll see if I can link it in the video too. So it's for his 40th birthday party, which is like forever ago. Because he's so old.
For his first 40. Like he's turned 40.
By the way, when
3
we
or 4
talk about it
times.
sometimes, I literally am like, yeah, that we went last year. And my wife's like, you did not. I'm like, oh, we did not. That's so long ago. Damn. So for his birthday party, his buddy Warren had set up something with his buddy Kim, who owns a cigar bar up in Illinois and where?
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana. There we go. And I don't know geography and other places. So he had us surprise him. So we were flying in to see him. And he like had the cigar bar's van and everything. So we're gonna go smoke cigars, have a good night, whatever. All that fun stuff. So in doing so, I recorded and made a video like, hey, like I'm going to see my buddy Ben. He has no idea, that type of thing. So I recorded the whole video, but in it, the intro, this is what it talks about. I'll see if I can. So yeah, that's like this is when we surprised him. He's in a sling because after he had tore his bicep. The airport to fly into Ohio for my buddy's 40th birthday party surprise. Ben is turning 40. He's actually a buddy of mine who I met about 7 years ago, roughly, in like one of those little local community gyms that you see. And he walked in. I was like, dude, you're too big to be in here. They don't let people your size in here. And and luckily, he didn't smash me to the ground, and we've been friends ever since. So his buddy Warren set up a surprise birthday party for him. So we're going to fly into Ohio. He's going to get big limo from one of his buddy who owns a cigar bar and surprise him like crazy. So hopefully he'll be super happy. Oh yeah, one other thing. Ben tore his bicep recently in a powerlifting competition. You can see the nasty video here. And so hopefully this will cheer him up quite a bit too. So Ben, we'll see you soon, buddy.
Come on. Hard set for you. Strap leg. Come on.
I mean, I like our different reactions. I'm laughing at the edit that I did on it, and he's reacting the way normal people react, which he was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
The look gives it away.
oh
The
yeah,
look is
that
the
and you were
sell.
like you immediately turn and you're like, like.
What do you do
Yeah.
in that instant? I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can do except
I would have cried, but he's just fine. So
It was, there were kids there were, all sorts of people there. So I could just, I didn't want to yell and scream and cuss or anything like I wanted to, but I didn't. I just kind of held my arm. I was like, it's kind of. So I walked over. Amy knew immediately what happened, and she wasn't best pleased. She was worried. She
Was it best pleased? That's
no.
adorable. Yeah.
So all I did, I walked over. I was like, "Hey, I tore my bicep. We've got to go to the hospital." And so my mom's an emergency room physician, and their bedside manner is different. She was there. She saw what happened. She heard me come over and explain the situation. And as Amy was getting ice for me, my mom goes, "Yeah, hold on one second. I'm finishing up a conversation with my neighbor." And I thought,
I love your my God.
it's like, no, I am hurt, and this
is a mercy. Let me finish my conversation.
Yeah, and in my mind, I was thinking, okay, the worst is over. Damage control. How do I get back to working out? I am where I want to be, and I want to continue training. So when they brought me my ice, my buddy Ralph was like, "Hey man, there are a lot of guys here who have had that same injury." I mean, it didn't really help whenever he said, "Yeah, it's a common thing for guys to tear their biceps whenever they're doing the grip that you had and not using the straps." And I thought, well, I'm glad that I know that now.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because if I had known that before,
prior to it, yeah,
things may have wound up differently. Who knows? But so we put ice on it, and we on the drive home, we stopped and saw one of my mom, a doctor that is their neighbor, and he's an ortho guy. And mom's like, "We got to stop and have my ortho guy look at it." And I said, "I know what happened. We don't need to stop." Like my bicep was in my deltoid.
Right. Trust me on this one.
I was like, it's neither one of these are connected. It's like, no, we don't. So, but we stopped, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "That's bad." He goes, "You guys live in Columbus, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, we live in Columbus." He goes, "Well, okay, go up to OSU. They'll get this done." And so we did, and so we get to my parents' house. We load up my Amy's car. We left the boys. Jackson stayed down in my parents' house, and then Henley came back up with us, and we went to the hospital, had the MRI, everything. They're like, I don't know if it was a nurse or a doctor, and they're like, "Well, if you decide to get this reattached, then you can probably get it done." I was like, "Whoa! If I decide to get it this is going back the way it should be. As there's no if about this. We've got to fix this. Can I do it now?" And they're like, "Well, we can't do it now, but we'll you can talk with a surgeon and get it sorted." So we did the MRI, and then our friends Wendy and Warren picked us up, and for like 10 days I sat on the couch. Amy kept ice on my arm. There wasn't any real swelling that I could tell. And I saw a couple different doctors and ended up going with OSU. And yeah, oh yeah. I walked in, he's like, his name escapes me, but he's like, "This must be the summer for biceps." He said, yeah, he's like, I can't tell you how many of these I've done this summer." He's like, we'll do an incision here, incision there, go up, grab it, pull it down, and drill a hole, and then use a little tic-tac pen, and it'll hold it. And he said that it would be pretty easy on me because where I had worked out for so long, the calcium deposits, the tubercle, where the tendon attaches or ligament attaches, had been built up. So he had a lot of room to work with to get the drill in and get that seated in the bone. But my buddy Ralph was like, hey, prior to getting up to the surgery, I had it 10 days after I had the injury. Ralph's like, you got to talk to these guys. There are things that you can use that will speed up recovery and you can get back to lifting in no time. So I got in touch with a lot of these guys and they were helpful. They're like, there's this stuff called BPC 157. So you inject it at or as close to the site as you can, and it regrows. It's just a miracle. And I was like, well, if it's going to get me back in the gym, then I'll absolutely start injecting this. So after the surgery, they put a soft cast on. I forget how long I had that on, but then they took it off and they're like, okay, after like 2 weeks, you can start physical therapy. Well, as soon as I had access to my skin again, I had this like mechanical ratchet kind of brace. I started injecting it, and I, just little diabetic needles. And I think I was in physical therapy for 2 or 3 months. But this total biceps tendon rupture. It would both, everything was up. After I think 2 months, I was deadlifting over 400 pounds again. When I showed up, they were like, okay, we're going to take the brace off. Have you been doing the slow extensions to try and get down to, whatever, 45 or whatever? I was like, oh, yeah, I've been doing that. I said, I've got pretty good movement with it now. They're like, whoa, let's not push it. And this is after like 2 weeks of being on it. So they take it off, and my arm just basically went all the way fully extended, nearly fully extended. And they're like, that is a good sign. They're like, that looks good. And so after that, I was just basically, they warmed me up. And then by 2 months in, I was just basically a guinea pig. They're like, well, let's see what you can do, because as the surgeon said, you'll tear your right bicep before you'll tear this left one again. So we just started going nuts, and 2 days a week we were, deadlifting, doing different stuff. But we always started with those shoulder exercises to get everything warmed up. And
before you even play, stretch it. You'll never regret it. Yeah. But I kind of developed a saying, and I really, really, truly believe this. Your brain trains your body, but you have to train your brain. Yeah. And I think you know what I mean by that. You have to. There's such a mental aspect to all those things you do. Like when you said you get up at 4:30. I bet there's not even a question of when you get up, what's going to happen next.
Of course, that's why I got to get off so he can go to bed. So he's like, I'm getting my sleep.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Sip. Man, when I have had people that I work out with or have trained and stuff, they're like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can get this weight. I don't know if I can do this." And I have to tell them, I wouldn't put this weight on here for you if I didn't know you could do it. You've got to believe that you can do this. Yeah. And then you'll do it. Your body is already primed. Your body's ready for this. Mentally, you have to know you're going to move that weight. And
I think every guy on the planet hits that when they start working out and they want to bench press 225 for the first time. Like they're like, they see two plates and they're like, oh, you're like, I remember when I was working out with some guys and they were like, didn't think they could do it. And luckily I'd already passed it. But I remember when I did it, the guys I worked out with were just like, took 185 off, you did 195, and then you went up to 205. And then you're stacking them. You're just getting there. And next thing you know, you're benching 215. So you're like 10 more pounds. But at the time, it was all these stacked little plates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And then they go and they're like, okay, we take them all off. And they put another big plate on. You go,
it becomes mental.
And it is totally mental. And then like I couldn't do it for the longest time. And they're like, bench press more. We could put all the little plates on, and you're bench pressing 235 now. Like, what do you mean you can't do that? So we had friends who they did the same thing. And when I was with them, and they're like, "Oh, I can't," I was like, so we basically fooled and we stacked enough plates on that next thing I know, he went from like 215. I was like, just put these on, and it was I think it was like 235 or 230, and he did it. And like he got it, he's like, yeah, he's like, all right, he's like, I think I'm willing to try it. And we're like, that's more than 225 right there. That's like 235. You already did it. And he's like, huh? Like his brain, like, yeah, you mentally got to be prepared.
It's like I don't think to this day that I can do bench press my own weight. I weigh 160. And at my age, but probably. I should be able to. But and it's okay to say I can't if you put the word "yet" after it. Yeah. Or what does Tony Orton always say? I currently struggle with.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about in the last podcast with Sarah too, Ben, didn't we? Like with like how she.
And I'm sorry,
a block of like what we can like train to like run and stuff. Like, and I would say like, oh, I can't run a half marathon, and I should rephrase that.
I currently struggle with.
I will not run a half marathon.
Well, that's different, though. I mean,
I don't want to.
That becomes a choice.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not a limitation; it's a choice.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's a lot mental. Even like preparing for, the lift or the run or anything. You got to get in the right mindset. I have a whole, like Andrew saw me when I lay down to do the bench press and stuff. There's a whole 45 seconds of me adjusting, making sure that, I'm dialed in, ready to do this. And
yes, sir.
Once I know mentally, once I'm in the right space, then it's like, okay, I can do it. Yeah. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of, there's a big mental aspect to exercise, working out and doing it, so that you don't get injured and so that you're reaching your goals.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to a matter of programming yourself, that's what you're doing. You're mentally preparing, right? Because like I told Andrew and I talked about this, when Deb and I walk in the morning, it's not, hey, are we going to walk today? No, we're up in the morning, we're having whatever it is we do, and then we're putting on our shoes, and neither of us have said a word to each other yet. I mean, at least not about that. We're just out the door, and next thing you know, are we going to go around the second and third time,
Yep. But, once you make it a habit, and once you make it a lifestyle,
bingo.
It's just part of your life. That's what you do. They're like, oh, you're eating breakfast? You're like, yeah, I mean, breakfast is part of the, I've got to eat. Oh, you're working out? You're doing your walk? Yeah.
I got to do that.
By the way, that's the most consistent I've ever been with breakfast, is because of his little thing about with the protein shake, with the little coffee and blueberries and stuff. Like, I was so upset this morning. The frozen blueberries stayed frozen. I'm just in there shaking them like a madman. And the ladies in the house are like, "What is happening?" I'm like, "It's blueberries are frozen." And I've shaken them enough that I've frozen more. And I think even Sarah was like, "Did you put coffee in it?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't put any. Oh, caffeine. I'll put some in there." Yeah. I was like, because normally I would I might make something the night before, or if it's that, then I'll make it in the morning so I know to do it. And it was like one of those, I pre-made the protein shake that night. And then so I was going to get out, put coffee in it, like iced coffee in it, and totally spaced.
Well, I think it was funny. One day I was here, and like when he was really slowing before we cut it off for the winter, I thought he was going to laugh at me, right? So I've got a protein bar, and I've got a Ensure. Oh yeah. And I thought, he's going to laugh at me. And I said, well, he goes, "Hey, what do you got?" And I said, "Well, I got this Ensure drink here, but you're not going to want that." I thought he was going to laugh at me, tell me it was old man drink. I go, "You're not going to want that." He goes, "Hell yeah, I haven't given you. You're not going to drink it." I said, "No." He goes, "Give it here."
Ensure's got 30 grams of protein.
Yeah, he goes, "Hell yeah."
Fiber. I was like,
he goes, "Yeah, I'll take it. Give it here."
That's solid. Yeah.
I thought he was going to laugh at me, telling me I was drinking an old man drink.
That's a good one too, because I think that protein shake actually have some fiber in it. A lot of them, they end up not having enough fiber in it in the protein shake. So I dealt with that a while back. I was like, man, I didn't feel super great, a little constipated, and it was because I was having too many protein shakes in a day that didn't have enough fiber. But I think it was after Amy had I think she mentioned it to Destiny maybe or Sarah about like flaxseed and chia
Yes.
seeds and stuff like that.
That's good stuff.
So there's like a huge bag of like chia seeds at the house, and I was like, why are we eating seeds? This is so weird. But then I was like, fine, and I was like, oh, it's a ton of fiber, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, maybe that'll help, and yeah, like mixed it in. Is that my audio? I mixed it in with, I think the protein shake, like stuck it in the fridge, and like it made it like a pudding or something. And I was like, this is interesting. I mean, I ate it. It was really good. So yeah.
And it sticks to the ribs. I mean, I think I would love for you to meet my grandson Avery. Lucas hasn't met Avery, but Avery's the soccer player. He's at the point in his life when it's mental because he's really good. He's in the like minor leagues of the MSL for United DC, but however he's in the youth league. But for a kid from about 10 years old to he's 50 now, he's totally into nutrition. Yeah. Totally. And I think you'd love to talk to you because I told him, I said, Avery, if this whole thing doesn't work out, you might think about being a nutritionist. I mean, you look at every label, you could break down, at 15 years old, he'll break down everything on it. He'll tell you, no, this, like the electrolyte over this electrolyte, this has got less sugar, this has got a dye in it that you don't want, Papa. He goes, Grandpa, you don't want this. He goes, I mean, his discipline is amazing. That's awesome. But I'd love, hopefully one day he'll get to meet you. Yeah. And Andrew, he wants to, my grandkids think he's the coolest thing. Yeah. Next to me. No, actually, they think he's cooler than me.
No, their kids are cool, man. Their grandkids are awesome. So yeah, we got. Wait, where's Lucas? Where's the poster? We got him on the poster somewhere. So yeah.
But it's to have that discipline and be that dialed in at that age. I mean,
it's amazing. It really is. We just glitched out on you, just so you know that.
Be that dialed in. I mean, when he's our age, think about where he'll be, physically, mentally, everything. I mean, that dialed in, and you carry that through, the rest of your life. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, it's amazing to me. And he and I had to have a conversation. You've probably heard this. Somebody once told me, they said, when you're eating granola bars and you're eating they said, if you're looking at the ingredients and the ingredients is a paragraph, something's not right.
Yeah. Keep it simple, man. And we were talking about protein bars and stuff. And people complain about the way they taste a lot of the time. Well, it's just because it's basically a candy bar with protein dumped in it. It doesn't make it healthy just because they say it's a protein bar,
Oh, I totally agree. It's like, it's like the old saying, well, of course it's good for you. It's natural. Well, you know what? Guess what? So is poison ivy. Right. That's what I always say. So, you do have a certain amount of diligence that you have to follow even when you're doing these protein things and bars. And so, so this has been a good journey with you and talking with you tonight.
Yeah, man, I'd like talking with you too. And Andrew, of course.
Well, my mic stopped off again. Yeah, we're getting ready to. Yeah. No, it's been great. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I know Ben had a blast talking to you too, man. So yeah. It was a lot of fun. So yeah.
Can I ask a question off the record?
Yeah. Oh, well, on the record? You want me to stop it? Or?
Well, I don't know. You tell me, because you could always cut this.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll talk.
Let me ask you something, Ben, because, you talked about, working out and being a big guy, and you're a big guy. And how many tough guys try to get in your face? I've known some crazy individuals, and they like it when they see that, So, you're an imposing figure. I mean, you have the soul of a gentle bear. I mean, you're a gentleman. You're a giant gentleman, but you got to get guys that come up and get in your face, just for no other reason, just to get in your face. Yeah, we got you.
There have been, I mean, I haven't had many run-ins. There have been
It's probably as long as you stay out of the bar, right? You probably do.
Yeah. I don't make it out to the bars or anything. We baseball games for the kids and stuff. So yeah, I don't run into to guys in that headspace. I'm sure that like if I made it out into the bars, people would probably find a reason to.
Well, it was just a general question because my brother, I've come from a pretty large family, and my one brother's my size, but he's just much huskier. So he's a tough guy. And I always told him, Carlos, I want to be like you. I want to be that tough guy. He goes, the bad thing about being something like that, he goes, is the bad guys always want to just jack with you because they want to just come up and size you up, and if they can go toe to toe to you with it, because at that time you're not even looking for trouble,
Yeah, I think that. I mean, there's always going to be those kind of guys that want to, prove themselves to their buddies or to themselves or whoever. For some reason, they want to mess with the, bigger guy. I think that, one of the reasons I like being big is because, no one, at least where I go, really wants to. No one really wants to prove a point, and if they do,
right, they don't have that burning desire to. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Which I'm thankful for. I'm not much of a scrapper, but I don't know. I wish I had a good story for you, but.
No, I was just curious. I've been wanting to ask you that for a while, so hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop and try it one more time because it's saying y'all can't hear me, I know. So, all right, we're going to try to sign off one more time. Sorry about that. I think we got all that. So, you were asking about that. So, yeah, I've seen Ben down here before, like when you were here at Oyster Festival walking around, and he had he purposely wore like a pink shirt. And it's like everybody like who's always smaller than him who are like, oh, hey, no one's really missing, type of thing. And he's like, I don't guess so. And I'm like, well, it also helps that he looks a little scary. So
Yeah.
but yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Really, we had a good time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So Ben, go to bed. Yeah. Tell Famous what's up, man. I'll get up with you probably tomorrow and see what's going on. Yeah.
Anytime Sid can come back on.
Yeah.
I'll try to get my walking up, get some more cardio.
There you go.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. It's really good talking. It's always good talking to you. It's always a pleasure. It's been about 3 weeks. I don't think I've ever gotten this sick, and I'm over it now. But gosh, it's nice. It was nice to get out again.
We'll have you back on for sure, man. It was fun. It was a good time.
Hopefully, we're gonna do some music videos.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, be fun. Yeah. Hi, bro. I will see you later, dude.
See you guys.
Better.
Feel better, Seth.